Hello and welcome. For 3 years, Lisa Bonet was the cute darling of the family favourite Bill Cosby Show. Then, in a brave career move, she decided to break out and appear naked in the controversial movie Angel Heart with Robert De Niro and Mickey Rourke. It was reportedly her way of dumping the goody-two-shoes image and, at 20, announcing herself as a confident young adult. The role as a sexy, sultry young woman surprised many and made not only her TV fans around the world sit up and pay attention. Then there was singer Lenny Kravitz, whom she dated, married and had a daughter with, the brilliant young actress Zoe Kravitz. Lisa seemed to put her own career in holding pattern but continued to make the occasional film and appeared in a number of television shows. She co-starred with Will Smith in the big-budget hit movie Enemy of the State in 1998 and had a key role in High Fidelity in 2000. Then, in 2017, Lisa married Aquaman, better known as Jason Momoa, a relationship that bore 2 children but ended in 2022. In this movie flashback, I caught up with Lisa in New Orleans on the set of Angel Heart back in 1987 and found a delightful, chatty young woman setting out on a potentially very exciting career.
Kind of from the beginning for you, I mean, where was your professional debut? How did you get involved? Was your family involved in theatre, television,
No, my
film?
mom's a teacher. My parents are divorced. And I was looking for a hobby, so I started an acting class about 4 years ago. And I don't know, there's so little work for minorities that I really didn't consider myself an actress. You know, I just thought of it as a hobby, something that I did. And I got a sin elsewhere, and I did an episode of The Two of Us, which is another series,
Right.
with Peter Cook,
Right.
Mimi Kennedy, and you know, work was really slow, and I was just going to school. I was going to high school. I was in 11th grade, and I was wondering, am I going to go to the prom? You know, that's
Really? Was
yeah,
that
you know, that's what I was thinking about, and where I was going to go to college. I knew that I wanted to go to New York, though. I wanted to get out of Los Angeles, which is where I was going to school. And then the show came out, and it was such great timing, you know.
But didn't you do a couple of episodes or something on Elsewhere?
As I said, I got a scene elsewhere, and I did it.
And the
Two of Us.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, sorry.
And then Cosby came out, and they said the network had only ordered 6 episodes, and we'd only go to New York for 6 weeks, and then we'd be back. But it was, you know, such a tremendous hit that we haven't been back.
Why is it a hit?
I don't know.
Why does it work?
I guess because it's such a romantic, idealistic family that's, you know, got Bill Cosby on top of everything, and he's a genius. And our TV is so overloaded with cop shows and
Yeah.
you know, it was time for something refreshing and something new. I really don't know why. You know, I guess just America was looking for something different. It was just when I think of how TV was, it really was, you know, Cagney and Lacey, Hill Street Blues, The Fall Guy, you know,
Yeah.
A-Team.
Knight Rider.
Right, exactly. It was all the same, you know.
Do your friends watch the show? I mean, not just because they're your friends and maybe they know you. But
I think so.
Do the kids your age watch the show?
I know kids my age watch the show just because the letters I get, but I'm not really sure about my friends because we usually don't
But what
talk
I'm saying
about
is it reaches your sort of age group.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How far down does it go? How, like, in age?
Oh, we get letters. Well, I have neighbors who say, we're 2 months old, you know, but, you know, realistically, I would say, you know, 7. Probably
It's
younger.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
That has an enormous effect, obviously, on families, because if you're dealing with emotional and family issues,
Right.
It's going to be rebounded outside the TV set there in the
Right.
home itself.
Right.
Does that go through your head at all, that you're going to be sort of affecting people's
No,
lives?
if you want to know the truth, I never really think about that. I mean, there are so many other things that you think about when you're working on the show, especially about your performance and everything else. And the last thing that I think about is that I'm affecting someone, you know. I get reminded because a reporter or a fan will say something, but I really don't think about it too often.
And do you if somebody reminds you about it, do you sort of just put that aside?
I think about it at the time, and then until I'm reminded again, I really don't think about it.
You mentioned college. Do you have ideals or plans to do something in college?
I sure hope so. There's so much to learn. I can't really see doing it in the future. I mean, in the near future. But I definitely, I think, want to go.
So what you'll do is you'll just keep working as an actress until you have time or the feeling or the motivation to...
Yeah, definitely. But just to know that it's still there,
What was the first... what were the first reactions when you realised that suddenly your face was being recognised in the street and in the supermarket?
It's really funny because when I got the show, I thought that I had the face that no one would recognize. Just the kind of face that I could just walk down the street and no one would recognize. And it's just right now, more than ever, it's getting hard where people with cameras, or you're walking down the street with a friend and tell them, well, it seems to me that it's a lot... There's less of a positive... when I get recognized, it's not as positive as you would think it would be, just because people are...
I mean, as opposed to negative?
Yeah, it's a lot more negative, I think, just because people have cameras and they don't ask, they don't care, they're snapping it in your face.
Yeah, well,
they're touching you.
In their head.
See, I don't see myself that way.
You're not. You're not, but you are in their heads.
Right. Yeah. So but it's also it can put you off, which kind of frightens me because I shouldn't have to live my life put off. But
where are you living now? Where are you actually based?
I live in Manhattan, New York.
Well, they say that New York are pretty cool about that sort of thing.
They say, I don't know.
No?
I mean, people recognize you. I don't mind being recognized. It's kind of nice. I mean, I can't say if I do or I don't, it would have to stop completely until it really bruised my ego, but...
Yeah. Have you got an ego, do you think? I mean, are you aware now of an ego?
I really don't think that I have... I think that I'm aware of who I am and what I am, which was a lot different than when I started. But I don't think it's like I have this inflated, personality and an ego to match. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't think that...
I think everybody has an ego. I don't think it's...
Oh, I definitely know that I have...
ashamed of.
Right. I definitely know that I have an ego, but that's just... What I'm saying is I don't think it's really changed.
Yeah.
Except I'm saying that I feel that I think I am more aware of who and what I am. Which kind of is frightening because, like I said, I like to walk down the street and just walk down the street and not be aware that Lisa Bonet is walking down the street. But because... of the way people, touch me, or I've had people touch me and grab my cheek and hit me on the back and grab my, and there's a certain line, and that this is really scary.
All they're doing though is trying to identify themselves with you in a way.
But that's going on in their head. But what's going on in my head is that I'm walking down the street and someone's grabbing me. It doesn't feel the same to me.
Has it ever been bad? I mean, have they...
The worst one, which was also the first one, is someone literally took me and swung me around. But luckily, I was with a friend, a guy, and who was aware of it happening, and I was just like dazed. He stopped him and pushed him and said, "What are you doing?"
What did the guy do?
It was a guy, and he saw me, and then realized who I was, I guess, and came back after me and just grabbed me and turned me around.
Didn't say anything?
Didn't say anything. Just grabbed me and...
Kiss you, or...?
No, he didn't do anything. He just grabbed me and turned me around. But by the time I don't know what he had done if my friend wasn't there, but my friend was there to stop him. So... But...
It's probably mostly going to be guys who do that, or girls who are about your age.
Girls have grabbed me by the hand and have pinched me by the cheek.
Why pinch you by the cheek?
So cute. It's the most annoying thing in the world. Just...
Needs sort of a quick right hand.
Well, actually, in the mood that I was in when someone did that, I probably would have done it had I not been in the airport and had two suitcases in my hand. She's very lucky, I think. When you just get off the red eye and you're just going, need someone pinching your cheek. But, I don't mind being recognized. In fact, I like it. I like it number one, when they know my name instead of Denise, and they say, "Aren't you Lisa Bonet?" I like that. And I also, I like when I'll be walking down the street and someone will see me and they'll smile, and it's like they know it and I know it. And no one else needs to know.
Yeah.
It seems so much more intimate. I really like that.
The movie, this movie is your first, isn't it? You've never done any.
No.
Not even telly movies.
No.
Right.
This is basically my first. I mean, The Cosby is basically my first job, so anything.
Right. So, how did it come about? Did Alan sort of see you in the show?
No, I had to audition, just like everybody else. And I felt pretty positive about the whole thing from the very first interview just because I walked in with a certain, I don't know what you would call it, when my agent read me the breakdown of the character that I was going in for, I just knew that I was Epiphany, And I walked in there and I felt pretty sure about myself and what I could do with the role. And
did that surprise you? Do you think that you did feel like?
I think, yeah, I guess so. Because I've never, I used to go home crying from interviews so long ago. Because there's so little for minorities, and you wanted so badly to get what you could, and then they wouldn't hire you because you had no experience, and you'd see the same black actresses or actors working. It was so frustrating. And so after Cosby, I haven't been out on an interview in the longest time, so I kind of missed that part of it. And so going in with a different attitude, I suppose, it felt good though. And I left. And the moment that I left the interview, I called my mom and I walked around Manhattan for so long. I just was out of high. I felt so good. And
that was the interview, the initial interview?
That was the first interview.
Right.
And then I went in for one other, and then I pretty much knew that it was up to everything else. It wasn't because Alan and I were at an agreement that I wanted it, and he kind of liked me. So.
Right. So what I gather from what you're saying is that after that first interview, you kind of had a feeling that you might have.
I just felt good about it, and I knew. A lot of times when you go in the interview, you're just like, shit, I did so bad. You don't leave with a. I don't know. You always feel that you could have done so much more. You're like, if only I had done this, And I felt really good. I was calling my mom saying he loved me. So I felt good about it.
He tapes most of the things. Did he tape you?
That was kind of weird though. But, I'd never had. You're Alan, and here's me, and he's got this camera right in front of your face while you're doing. You're giving the interview. When you're reading, and he'll be down on the page, and then he'll look up, and you don't know if you should be saying your lines to him or the camera, and it was really strange. It was weird. I'd never been on anything like that, but I liked it.
Just in your own words, tell me who the character is. I mean, what sort of a woman is she?
She's 17. She's got a 2.5-year-old baby. She's a survivor. She's very strong. She's very perceptive. She's very protective. She's just a great person. I don't know. I think I'm really her. She's kind of scary. Yeah.
How does she fit into the plot?
Mickey is looking for, or Harry is looking for Johnny Favorite. Johnny Favorite was involved with my mother. So when he finds that out, he goes looking for my mother, who is dead, and so we get involved.
Right. So there's a romantic liaison in the picture, I think. So it's you.
A petit liaison.
What?
A petit liaison.
A petit. Yeah, we.
It's very small.
But it's a worldly. You're a worldly 17-year-old.
No, I wouldn't say worldly. I don't think but she's very streetwise. I don't think worldly is the word for Epiphany. She's just very.
Well, she's had sex. She's had a baby.
Yeah, but that's really about all the experience that she's had. She hasn't really been anywhere.
So you're saying that there's kind of streetwiseness about her, but there's an innocence about her as well.
Definitely, she's very naive, I think.
Is it a big part?
It's she's kind of. I was thinking about that, and it's a nice sized part. It's not really giant.
You don't feel like carrying the world on your shoulders.
No, I don't at all. And I think for my first film, it's kind of nice. I'm learning at the same time, so it's nice.
What's the biggest difference between doing this and doing the Cosby Show, which I guess is done weekly with?
Right. Well, the first thing I had, like for my first day, I'm so used to hearing the show is only 23 minutes, Lisa. Please cut the pauses. You know, TV, you don't really have enough time to really make serious choices. And in here, I had to like keep reminding myself, or Alan had to keep reminding me, Lisa, you know, take your time. It's okay. So that's kind of nice.
That's good for you, though.
It's great for me.
Because you're able to explore a bit more.
Exactly. Except for I had to learn that on screen, which, you know, so I'm just going, oh, God, I don't want to see that.
So you've been going to the dailies, obviously.
No, I haven't. I
haven't?
haven't seen any dailies.
Why not?
Because Alan doesn't show them to his actors. Because, you know, we're the most egotistical, we just critical people. And I think that as an actor, you wouldn't be watching it as a film and, you know, as a whole scene. You'd be watching yourself and
that's true.
Be ready to jump on your case.
You don't. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I would
I know that they could be.
Yeah,
I do want to see them, but I'm not gonna. He knows. You know, this is my first film. I don't know, and I think he knows what he's talking about. But I did feel good. There's a voodoo scene that we do, and it was just.
What do you do in it?
Well, what it turned out to do is, you know, something different than it was just kind of written, and then we worked with the choreographer, and what each individual was willing to supply the scene with is how it really turned out. It was very electric. It was great.
Is that the dance scene?
Yeah.
Were you actually dancing?
Yeah. And I've never danced in my life, and they brought in dancers from Alvin Ailey and Dance Theater of Harlem, and I was just going, yow.
And you had to dance with them?
I had to dance with them, so I had to make a choice whether to really hold back because I was embarrassed of this voodoo thing and let them take over, or really go all the way.
What did you do?
Went all the way.
Good on you.
Yeah, it felt great. It felt great. I was on a high for 2 days afterwards. It was just because it really contained all the elements that, as an actor, you look for. You know, spontaneity and taking risks and connecting with everything else, the surroundings and everyone else. And just total lack of self-awareness. It's great. Really felt good.
In the scene itself, is there sort of part of the voodoo ritual, or is it just...
Voodoo ritual, that's what it is, and Harry stumbles on it.
So what are you supposed to be doing?
So, there's work with...
Throwing chickens?
There's work with chickens, and just, you know, getting the Holy Spirit, and just really... I don't know, it was like you had... In order to make the scene work, was like we all had to reach a certain point of liberation, just so the audience, and when we saw it, we knew what we were saying was truth, because, you know, it's a voodoo ceremony. It could have been so hokey and so cocky. But I think in order to get that across, it was like we just had to totally let go, which is a state I wish I could live in all the time, you know, but it worked for that evening. It was great. It was neat.
How'd you feel about working with the chickens?
At first, I didn't mind about working with them, but I was really frightened for them, you know, turning them around, you're like, going to break their legs, but once you got accustomed to working with them, it, you know, you had nothing to worry about, you know, you learned it the right way to handle them, so they weren't really got that.
Now go back and talk a little bit about Bill Cosby. You're obviously a great admirer of him, but I mean, what's he like to work with? He seems to be always very laid back and very easy, but is he like that all the time?
No, he's very professional. He's very protective. He's just a great man all around. I don't know him like his family knows him, you know, because he's not like a father to me. He's more of a friend. I would go to him if I had a problem or if I needed advice. But he's very different to us on the set than he is to his family, just, you know, from what I've seen. And
in what way?
He's very strict.
With you or the family?
With the family, with his own family.
How many has he got?
5 kids too. Yeah. And so with us, he's just very. He's very amused by us, you know. He's very perceptive. So the things that he hasn't, that aren't in the script from his real family, usually come from some ridiculous thing that, you know, we thought we could get away with, and then he's picked up and puts in there.
Does he put pressure on you though? I mean, you say he's professional. I don't mean bad pressure. I mean pressure to perform and pressure to really deliver.
No.
No?
No. I think we all know, you know. None of us have really worked before. This is our first show. So the way it is now is the way it's always been. You know, it's very laid back, but we all have a sense of what we need to do to make everything work.
Right.
And that's why it works so well, besides the fact that we all care about each other a lot.
And the rest of, I mean, you seem to get on. You get the impression, at least, that the whole cast is kind of like a TV family. I mean, that you mix very easily.
But I think the same kind, all of us have the same kind of relationship, on camera, off camera. Like, you know, Malcolm and I just kind of, you know, talk and giggle or whatever, and, you know, he would come to me or I would go to him and say something, and we'd talk about someone, or, you know what I mean? And then I think just because the ages are basically the same in real life as they are on TV, we all have the same kind of relationship.
Yeah. So what happens after the film? After here, what do you do?
I have about a month off to relax. I have a new apartment, so I'm getting that together. And then we start in August.
New series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's really this is the hiatus kind of period.
Right.
Now.
So we're dark. We've been dark since April.
Right. So how many series do you shoot from August? What will you shoot? How many, not series?
Episodes? I think 25.
In how many weeks?
Well, we work 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and are off a week. So, you know, it's the same. We work from August to April.
Right. But doing one show a week?
One show a week.
Right. And it's live, isn't it?
Yeah. We
in
shoot.
front of an audience?
Yeah.
What's that like?
It's great.
Kind of like doing theatre, I guess.
Yeah, it is in a way. I've never done theatre, but I assume that's what it's like, because it gives you a real momentum and a real feeling that you hit that one right, or oops, that one didn't work, because you get, you know, an immediate reaction. So it's good.
Do they in fact dub laughter over it?
No.
No? So what you hear is
It's
what
all
you get?
real. Yeah. It's great.
Have there been any situations where you've sort of forgotten the lines?
All the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it happens all the time. Bill never does one line the same. So what you have to do is you have to really listen. And if he screws it up, you're just like going, yeah. You know, and then of course there are times when we make mistakes too. Where your tongue it's quicker than your thoughts, or you just don't remember the next line. It happens all the time.
So what happens then?
So they stop and we start over.
Roll tape.
Yeah.
Rewind tape.
Yeah.
Roll again.
Lisa had been with Jason Momoa from 2017 until 2022 and married to Lenny Kravitz for 6 years. I gather they all remain very close as an extended family and often get together for big movie premiere events in Hollywood. Lisa will turn 57 this year.